Americans For Fair Taxation presents the Weekly Chairman's Report, written by Steve Hayes, President of Americans For Fair Taxation, and recorded by Bob Paxton, a volunteer with the Florida FAIRtax Educational Association. And now, this week's Chairman's Report.
Hello, I'm Bob Paxton with the AFFT Chairman's Report for Friday, March 8th, 2019. On January 30th, 2019, Congressman Larson, chairman of the Ways and Means Social Security Subcommittee, introduced the Social Security 2100 Act, H.R. 860. The bill has 200 co-sponsors. Now, in an article that appeared on the website for Benefits Pro, Nick Thornton summarized some of the facts about Social Security and how the proposed legislation would be implemented. First, here's some facts about Social Security. When Social Security was established in 1935, half of the country lived in poverty. By 1946, 11 million Americans were aged 65 or older. Today, about 46 million Americans are over 65, and that's projected to more than double by 2060, according to the Population Reference Bureau, a nonprofit think tank. Mortality has also vastly improved over Social Security's lifetime. In 1950, life expectancy was 68 years. By 2013, it was up to 79. 67 million people in 2017 received payments from the Social Security Administration. Last year's SSA Trustees report said reserves in the Old Age and Survivors Insurance Program would run out by 2034. So if no changes to funding are made, in 2034, retirees will see an across-the-board 23% reduction in their monthly checks. Permanently reducing benefits by 17% is one approach to putting Social Security on sound actuarial footing, and increasing payroll taxes from 12.4% of income to 15.8% is another possible solution. The article went on to summarize the main points of Larson's proposed legislation. First, a phased increase over 23 years of the payroll tax from 12.4% to 14.8%. The proposal would increase the combined income for an individual from the present $25,000 to $50,000 before Social Security benefits are taxed. It would also increase the combined income for a married couple from the present $32,000 to $100,000 before Social Security benefits are taxed. These new thresholds would allow an additional 12 million Social Security recipients to pay no tax on their Social Security benefits. Presently, there are no Social Security taxes owed on wages above $132,000 annually, but the bill would rapidly raise that amount subject to Social Security tax to $400,000 and then be unlimited after a number of years. Larson's proposal would also increase the minimum benefit in accordance with the definition of the poverty level. So let's look at some of the problems with the payroll tax system. Now, while many of us applaud Congressman Larson for trying to get Congress to confront the growing problem with Social Security solvency, doing it with a payroll tax system is not the right way to do it. Data developed by Veronica DeRuggi, a senior research fellow at the Mercatus Center, shows the number of workers contributing money to pay the benefits of each retiree. Her data shows that in 1945, there were 41.9 workers for each Social Security retiree. By 1960, that was down to just 5.1. In 2010, it was down to 2.9. And according to her data, by 2030, there will only be 2 workers contributing to the system for every retired worker receiving benefits. Also, who actually pays the employer's share of Social Security that's matched by the employee? According to a study by the Tax Foundation, almost all of the amounts paid by the employer's share of Social Security and Medicare taxes are actually paid by those businesses' employees because their wages are almost the same amount less. So even though the employee is told that they only pay 1/2 of the Social Security tax, it's another example of the way the swamp and Congress have actually hidden the amount of tax paid. Unfortunately, the unintended consequences of Congressman Larson's legislation is that he is raising taxes and limiting wage increases on many of the workers he's trying to help. So let's look at the future of Social Security under the fair tax. First, the fair tax eliminates the Social Security payroll tax. But here's what else the fair tax does for Social Security. By eliminating the payroll tax, Social Security will now no longer depend on just workers, but on spending by everyone in the country. With the prebate, workers will have the amount of spending up to the poverty level for them free of any tax. Prices for new retail goods and most retail services will be 10 to 20% lower than they are today. And all of the money they will earn will not be reduced by federal payroll taxes or income taxes. With the fair tax, the economy will grow more rapidly, foreign investment will flow into the United States, and that will create more and more higher paying jobs for American workers. And all of the income from Social Security will not be reduced by taxes, so retirees will get 100% of their benefits. Now, if Social Security funding needs to be increased, it can be done with an increase to the 23% fair tax rate. That is, if enough Americans agree, because it will not be hidden from anyone. In conclusion, Congressman Larson and his co-sponsors are trying to address a problem, but unfortunately, they are trying to repair a failing system that is way beyond its use-by date. The payroll tax is a very regressive system. It taxes all workers from $1 without regard to the amount of money they make or the size of their family. This is another problem that the fair tax will address and provide a solution that is good for everyone in America. Well, that is, other than the swamp and many of their minions in Congress.
This has been the Weekly Chairman's Report, written by Steve Hayes, President of Americans for Fair Taxation. Check back every week for news and information about the fair tax, and learn why the fair tax should replace our antiquated federal income tax system. If you'd like to receive a copy of the Chairman's Report in your inbox every week, sign up at fairtax.org or bigsolution.org.